The intention behind the DVD is to provide a real live training opportunity for staff working in the acute hospitals in relation to patients who come into our care, and a way of being able to improve our ability to communicate with individuals with learning disability and their relatives and carers. We have used a variety of approaches. We have included the Lilliput Theatre company, where they have taken some live scenarios based on complaints that we have had and turned them into some communication tools. And we also have interviewed and worked alongside some parents and some carers of people who have learning disability or are on the autism spectrum.
So the intention behind the training DVD is to provide an opportunity to show staff across general health care important aspects of working with people with learning disabilities, and really to look at some of the common challenges that come up, to look at how they arise, often the language that we use, the way we ask questions, and then to provide opportunities to say, well, actually there's slightly different ways to do that, to make what would be classed as reasonable adjustments.
This new piece of work that we're on now came from discussion with Professor Owen Barr. It's called Hospital Care Guidance, or Hospital Guidance Care, and it's really based on how people with a learning disability are treated in hospital situations. So when myself, Maureen, sat down with Professor Owen Barr, he had a few ideas of things that he had seen in his own experience happening in hospitals. So again, he relayed these stories to ourselves, and me and Maureen devised 6 short sketches.
We find that, just to ask a question isn't enough. You may need to elaborate. You may need to ask your question in a different way. You have to find that person's level. You have to communicate with them in a way that they can understand. The people that are in our group are of quite high ability. There's other people with a learning disability who may you would need to respond to pictures or some sort of a sign language, but it's finding the level of communication.
We're very concerned that in some cases our general nursing staff perhaps don't have the full range of appreciation of the needs of a patient or client with a learning disability or autism, or challenges within their behaviour that require us to perhaps manage their care in a different way. Nurses are really concerned about trying to deliver a person-centred focus on care, and person-centred nursing care is about involvement, it's about inclusion, it's about engagement, it's about shared decision making, and it's about having family and carers involved in making choices with patients. And sometimes we have found through some of our complaints that we've received, or through some of the conversation pieces that we have with patients and their families, that we're maybe just struggling a little bit to understand how to communicate effectively and in a way that's very inclusive with a person who may have a learning disability challenge.
Maybe some of the responses you might get from somebody with a learning disability might sort of shock somebody in the nursing profession where they've never heard such things before. Maybe the simplest of questions, such as what's your date of birth, just mightn't be a concept, And if you're asked the same question in a simpler way as when were you born, the response you could well get is after Christmas, So it's things that sort of shock some people. But when you sit back and look at it in reality, you can see, yes, now I see what's happening, and they're learning from it. And I mean, every performance that we've done, all the nurses have come to us and says, I've learned so much about that. I've seen so much of myself and that.
Every person is different, and everybody's level of learning is different, and everybody's comprehension is different.
Impact that the sketches can have is really to bring to life much of the theory that gets talked about the importance of communication, the importance of treating people as individuals, the importance of giving a bit more time, treating people with respect, and really waiting for answers. Lilliput, in the work that they've been doing with us over the past number of years, I would confidently say can achieve a much greater impact in a half an hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our DVD of Hospital Care Guidance, presented by the Lilliput Theatre Company. The first sketch deals with patients' right of consent.
Come in.
Sit you there, John.
Morning, Doctor.
Morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, John, we have decided on a knee replacement. You've got to rest and not walk about too much for 6 weeks or more.
But doctor, does that mean that John won't be able to go to the day centre?
Yes, for 6 weeks or more.
But I work during the day. Can you not put this off for a while?
Just say I got done. I've been to work on my sword at all times.
But you don't understand.
It's not your decision. We had to discuss what's best for John. What's best for John to have it done now?
Well, let's get done out then.
I'll start and make that arrangements for that today. And when you go home, the district nurse will visit you to look after your care.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Would you like to come with me?
Sure, Doctor.
Our hope is that this will provide a very rich learning experience in a way that's not confrontational and in a way that is very supportive for nursing staff. So basically we can do what we all come to work to do, and that's see a patient as a person and provide first class care that we would be happy if it was our family member or our brother or sister that was receiving that care.
This sketch deals with the issue of cooperation with and use of other care professionals.
Collapsed middle of the street. Only mention name, sure on. Learning disability or a mental illness.
Had anybody with him?
Two boys said from the Brickell Day Centre.
Sean, can you tell us your address? Where do you live?
Beside the park.
When's your date of birth?
What's that?
When's your birthday?
After Christmas.
Okay, this is getting us nowhere.
I think I ring Brookholt Day Centre.
Okay, Doctor.
We have a patient here at Kersley called Sean. He's a learning disability. I think it's from your centre. He may have a learning disability or mental illness. Thank you. There's somebody on their way.
Okay, Doctor.
Are you there, Shawnee Gwen? I'm Sean's care worker from Brookholt Day Centre. I have his care plans and his mother is on her way.
Thank you. Would you like to come with me?
Okay.
It can be very challenging when somebody's presenting at A&E with an acute problem, acute clinical problem. And I think in that case, if there's a carer or a relative with them, it's best to elicit some information and the right communication methods from the carer or relative behind the scenes, but still make sure that your first approach is to direct the questions in a way that the relative or carer has helped you understand. They would understand, for example, what is your date of birth, as we've seen, makes no sense to the individual. But when you ask them, when's your birthday? That has a meaning for them. So there's something about that preparation maybe for a few minutes before the doctor or the nurse actually goes in to speak with the individual would be very helpful.
Given the person with learning disability, give them a bit more time to answer a question. If the first time they answered it's not understood, ask them could they repeat it. It's not the beyond and end all, you know. So just ask them, say to them, look, I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Go and try that again. I'll see if I get it this time.
If you don't understand, it's fine to tell them that you don't understand, and they're used to people maybe not everyone's diction isn't totally clear, and if you don't grasp it, it's fine to say, can you repeat that? Or they're used to that, and they want to communicate with you just as much as you want to communicate with them.
This sketch you're about to see deals with allowing patients to make informed choices about their treatment using information they can understand.
Come in.
Yes, nurse.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning, doctor.
And how are you today?
A bit nervous.
Why are you nervous? You've been coming here plenty of times.
Okay, be grand.
Did the nurse take blood samples?
She did, doctor.
And how's the pain today?
Not too bad.
Looking at your notes, we have decided on surgery.
When will that be, doctor?
Maybe we do that next week.
That'll be grand.
Pastor, so I mean, that's me. What I want.
Sorry, Tony, you are quite right.
Hey, Pastor, like, you have this son, that's for me.
Yes, there's other options. I can get you some information, and then you can decide.
Tony, can you read?
I'll try and get a DVD or pictures for you.
Then you can decide for yourself.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank
Would you
you,
like to come
doctor.
with me?
Yes.
One of the things that was interesting actually was when I went and sat down with the people from Lilliput and said, well, if we were going to do sketches, what should we do sketches about? And they were able to very quickly, I had a list in my head of, well, we should do sketches in this, but very quickly they were able to say, well, I don't like the way people speak to me. I don't like when people don't speak to me and they talk among themselves. I don't like it when I'm not asked about decisions that are being made about me and they talk to my carers about the decisions. And they had all of the things nailed down straight away.
This sketch you're about to see deals with the idea of do not assume understanding.
Alright, Sean, let's get you to your seat. Are you comfortable? Let's get you covered up. The doctor will be with you shortly.
Sean, you've been brought to hospital because you collapsed in the street.
Go away.
Settle down now. I can't accept that behaviour. I need to look into your eyes with this light to see if you hurt yourself. When you banged your head. Would that be okay?
Can I go home now?
Not just yet. We have to investigate why you collapsed. Does your head hurt?
A wee bit.
There.
Sean, I would like to give you some medication to make you feel more comfortable. Sean, I would like to do an x-ray.
What does that mean? Would it be sore?
It means taking a picture of your head. It won't be sore. It will show us if your head is okay.
I'm afraid.
There. I'll explain what an X-ray is until your mum comes. Then I can take you down. Is that okay?
It's all too easy for healthcare professionals to talk in a form of words that we think everyone understands. For example, the term X-ray means nothing, as we can see from that little clip on the DVD. And we are challenged in finding a way to communicate that's meaningful. So to say somebody wants to take a picture and it won't hurt made the world of difference. So it's about helping our staff understand that what might seem perfectly okay for you and I to speak to patients, each other about, where somebody has a communication difficulty, that won't cut the mustard. So we've got to find the means to do it in a way that reduces their fear and their anxiety, but also allows them to avail of the test that they need to get in order for us to get a right diagnosis for them.
Interestingly, those sketches and the areas that were identified have since been identified in national reports across the UK as causing major problems. So this video isn't about what happens in Northern Ireland. It's not about what happens just in this local area. It's actually something that is relevant right across the UK and now internationally.
This sketch deals with taking time to explain procedures in a way that a patient can understand and allowing for family support as required.
Come on then, Paul. Let's get you on the bed. Are you okay? Good. Now, put your feet up there. Are you